Hello all, welcome to NetBook and welcome back to Mulesoft tutorials. Today I'm planning to show how we can debug a Mule application. So I think as soon as we develop the application, we deploy into the dev environment and we do a lot of things. But the basic thing is we need to know how we can debug the issues and how we can debug the Mule applications so that it can be easily tracked where exactly your code might be failing, what exactly happening with your flow and which flow is triggering, which flow is not triggering, what data it is moving. That all we can see during the debugging the application. So let's move on to the practical way. I'm going to take a customer API. If you want to debug a MuleSoft application, you need to run your application in a debug mode. So before that, an example I'm going to take it over here. I want to debug this create customer flow. Okay, I just want to see when the customer ID is generated, how the customer ID looks like and what value it is going over here, and see that how it is storing over here. So to debug that application, first of all I need to see that how the customer ID is generating, right? So I can put a breakpoint immediately after that over here. So right click on the component and add breakpoint. Wherever you want to stop a flow and see what data it is coming and all, then put a breakpoint over here. I put it only one breakpoint over here because of this is a small flow. Otherwise, let me take another example also. I want to update the record. I want to see how the flow is, triggering. I mean to say how the flow is routing. So let me put a breakpoint over here, one, and I will go to the reference flow. Here you can see it might go to this flow, this path or this path, right? So let me add one more breakpoint over here and right click on here and add a breakpoint. That is how I can put a breakpoint first of all, wherever I want to stop a flow and see the data, what it is coming and all. Now you want to run this application in a debug mode, right click over here, debug as mule application. That is how we can do. So now this application is not going to run it in normal mode. It is going to run it in a debug mode. Let's wait for the deployment. So it is going to ask, can I switch it to this debug mode option? If you want, yes, say yes over here. As soon as you click on yes, it will change the views in Anypoint Studio. Over here you can see the debug option over here. You can watch what is the payload is coming, what is the variables are coming, everything, and you can watch over here your flow, and there are options over here. I'm going to talk about it, and there is a below you can see the console. It is deployed my application, and you can evaluate your payload everything during the runtime also. So we'll see that also. So before going to further execution, let me talk about these options. If you want to terminate this flow, terminate the complete the running application, you can click on this. During the execution phase, if you want to evaluate some data view code, I want to see that payload what it is coming. You want to see a payload dot first name what it is coming. You can evaluate. This will be enabled as soon as a transaction is running. Okay. Then if you want to run it next processor, we know that what is a processor. This is one processor, this is one processor, this is another processor, right? So from each step, if you want to run it, you can use the next processor. You can see run processor. So the run processor, when you say, the complete processors are going to run it, even though if you have a breakpoint. And here resume. So imagine you have one breakpoint over here, another breakpoint over here. When you click on the resume, it will move from here to here. Directly the execution will not stop over here, directly it will move over here. Okay, so I'm going to remove this breakpoint. We can remove the breakpoint, uh, right click, remove breakpoint. That is you can do. And you can start a scheduler, and you can stop a scheduler, and you can add some expressions and see that values also. Okay, so other than that, I have a breakpoints in my flow, 4 breakpoints. You can see in a create one, okay, and then I have in update flow one, and there is an update subflow. I have a 2 more, all right. So there are 4 breakpoints. Whatever we checked it, those are there. And if you don't want to enable any of them, you can disable by selecting this also, okay. Or if you want to disable entire things, you can click on over here also. You can see now this is cross mark with a block, right? That is disabled. Or enable it back again here, so it will now enable it. So let me test it and explain some more. So I want to create a customer first of all. So I will go to the postman over here. I'm going to submit a request over here with these details. Click on send. Now, as soon as I sent, I kept a breakpoint over here. My flow is coming over here and it is stopping over here. And you can see in the variables and watches, it is waiting at transform message, and you can see that attributes what all it is coming. Path, method, all this information is showing over here. And payload, it's coming this payload, and then you can see that correlation ID, as well as this variable is executed, that generation of the correlation, sorry, the customer ID. You can see that customer ID is this one, it is generated. And as I said, you can see this is enabled now. I want to see the name of the name, what it is coming in a payload. Click on that, payload dot name, evaluate, and you can see this is the it is coming. So if you want to see any of the values, evaluate any of the data view code, then you can do this, click on here. Okay, once it is done, you can you can click on again back here, it will close. Now click on next over here. When I say next, it is moving from here to this component. Now you can see this is top.store. Okay, now you can see over here also the evaluate, the same option what we have here. Here also we have payload, or maybe I want to check the customer ID, vars dot customer ID, evaluate. You can see this is the my one of the variable, that is the customer ID, that value is contained. Okay, then I don't have any other components over here. When I click on, I can't check that option anyways. So the next processor, it will go and stop over here, then finish it. That is how it works. So let me explain about run processor and resume. So I'm going to take a example of put method over here, and this is the customer ID, which is I want to update it. So I'm going to take it that customer ID over here, and then body also I'm going to change the same over here, the customer ID. Click on send now. You can see that let me see. Yes, the port number is wrong here. It should be 8083. Sent, and you can see now it is my application triggered an event and it received an update flow. It is waiting over here. Now I don't want to see what is happening over here. I just want to go to next breakpoint. Till that point it should execute. If you want to do that, you can click on resume. Now you can see it went to the resume part over here now, and it stopped at default case, because let me go to down over here, because we have the status is not failed. That means that we found that ID, so it went for updation over here. So you can click on again resume. There is no breakpoint at all. So after that, so it will complete the flow as it is, right? Now I want to show how it works in a run processor. So other than that, okay, let me show you in the create itself, or let me take it again, the update itself. Click on send a request again. I'm sending the same request. You can see over here, still I have a breakpoints over here, but I don't want to stop anywhere in my flow. Then you can use run processors. So as soon as you click on run processors, it's going to complete your flow. I think, yes, I think there is some problem over here. It's not running at all. Let me test it back again. Send a request. No, it's not working over here. Let me test it with a create flow maybe. There is some problem with this workspace or anything. That's it. Send a request now. Now I'm going to click on run. So this is not working over here right now. So normally when you click on run processors, it will complete the entire flow without stopping anywhere. As of now, I'm going to finish this one. As well as you can see, if you want to come back to normal mode, this is debug view. And if you want to commit to design view, click on over here. Now I come over here and you can see the watches and all over here. Let me test it one more time. I'm going to test it with update flow. Click on send a request now, and it will ask, do you want to change it to the view? I say no this time. So it will stay back as it is in this view. Even you can test it in this view also, debug mode also. Now, what I want to do is, you can see these options over here. And if you want to see those watches and all, if you want to disable any of them, you need to go back to this view. So I want to disable one of the breakpoint over here. You can disable over here. That is how we can do. Now going back over here, let me show again, and let me run it over here. It's not working the processor, but it is a problem with something with the workspace. That's it. Run processor. It's completed because of I removed this is disabled my breakpoint over here. That's why it is working that way. So it is very useful because of you can check each and every step, what is the data it is coming. You can see that every point of data you can check, and you can go by step and debug your flows. That will help to identify the issues, what data it is flowing and what path it is routing. Everything can be visible and everything can be tracked over here with the debug option. That is a great feature it is provided by the Mulesoft using the Anypoint Studio. I hope this is useful for some of you. It will be useful for your real time for debugging your Mulesoft applications. Thank you for watching this video. That's it for today. Please like, share, subscribe, NetBook. Thank you.